Hello. The topic is general patterns of evolution of organ systems, anthropogenesis. Key questions: systematic position of man, the place of man in the system of animals, theories of the origin of man, differences between humans and great apes, stages of anthropogenesis, progressive evolution of hominids and origin of man, modern methods of proving the origin and historical development of mankind, intraspecific differentiation of mankind, races, features of races, adaptive ecological human types. Systematic position of man. Man belongs to kingdom Animalia, subkingdom Metazoa, type Chordata, subtype Vertebrata, class Mammalia, order Primates, suborder Dry-nosed primates or Hyplorini, infraorder Arthropods or higher primates, Simiiformes in Latin, parvorder Catarrhine monkey or old world anthropoids, or in Latin Catarrhini, subfamily Apes Hominoidae, family great apes or hominids, or in Latin family Hominidae, subfamily African hominids or African apes, subfamily in Latin Hominina, tribe Hominini, includes genera Homo and Pan, genus Homo and species Homo sapiens. Today, all humans are classified as belonging to the species Homo sapiens. Please examine the scheme that illustrates the systematic position of man on the screen. Differences between humans and great apes. Anthropogenesis or humanization includes the following directions of changes: bipedalism, progressive transformations of the brain or encephalization, reduced degree of sexual dimorphism in humans, adaptation of the hand to labor activity, disappearance of abundant hair, changes in the dentoalveolar apparatus and cranium, the formation of articulate speech, conceptual thinking, intelligence, restructuring of ontogenesis, development of social organization, material culture, and other aspects. Some of the changes have affected the changes in many other organs and systems of organs. Among the changes in dentoalveolar apparatus and cranium, the skull is shorter and higher. Underdeveloped superciliary arches. The chin protrusion is developed. While both branches of the jaws are not parallel, which contributes to the creation of more space for articulation of the tongue. The development of a pair nasal bone, the nasal is pushed forward. A decrease in the facial part of the skull, in connection with which there is a decrease in the space for the teeth, which leads to anomalies and difficulties in teething, especially wisdom teeth. Teeth are shortened, the canines are not very prominent. The constancy of their upright posture leads to restriction in other organs. The spine becomes similar to an elastic S-shaped column, which bends repeatedly, absorbs shocks and transfers the mass of the trunk to the surface of the feet. There are cervical and lumbar lordosis, forward bends, and thoracic and sacral kyphosis, backward bends. The vertical position leads to the movement of internal organs. The person has a predisposition to hernial protrusion or prolapse of internal organs. Narrowing of the lumen and construction of the pelvis was important for giving the pelvis strength. The human heart lies at a higher level than that of four-legged animals. The consequence is an increase in pressure in the veins of the lower extremities, which can lead to varicose veins. Similar mechanisms also predispose to gastric and duodenal ulcer. It has been shown experimentally that almost all diseases of the cardiovascular systems are associated with upright posture, including hypertension. You can see some differences in skeletons of Australopithecus and Homo genera on the screen. Theories of the origin of man. There are several theories describe the origin of man. The theories describe the reasons of most important changes that we listed before. The first one, Friedrich Engels. The part played by labor in the transition from ape to man. The second one is savanna hypothesis. As Africa became drier around 3 million years ago, the forest shrunk and savannas came to dominate the landscape. That favored primates who could stand up and see above the tall grasses to watch for predators, and who could travel more efficiently across the open landscape, where food and water sources were far apart. The third one is monogamy theory. Theory was published in 1981 by Owen Lovejoy. The crucial turning point in human evolution was the emergence of monogamy 6 million years ago. Aquatic ape theory. The theory postulates that humans are so different from other primates because our ancestors evolved in a different environment, near and in the water. Shedding body hair made them faster swimmers, while standing upright enabled them to wade. The aquatic ape hypothesis is widely dismissed by the scientific community, but in 2013 David Attenborough endorsed it. Cutis maron. The key was a genetic predisposition to cooperate, born not from altruism but from conflict. Primate groups that cooperated gained a competitive edge over rival groups, and their genes survived. So many of the theories and hypotheses have merit, but they share a bias. The idea that humanity can be defined by a single well-defined trait or group of traits, and that a single stage in evolution was a crucial turning point on the inevitable road to Homo sapiens. And no single trait they acquired was a turning point. Stages of anthropogenesis. The series of transformations that primates have undergone since then to produce the human beings of today are known as hominization. The dawn of humanity began in Africa between 6 and 2.5 million years ago. The primates of that time, who are our ancestors, may have used very primitive tools, but the fossils record shows very few traces of human intelligence. Between 4 and 2 million years ago, another hominid genus, Australopithecus, lived in Africa. Members of the genus walked on the feet, had larger brains than monkeys of the same size, and ate mainly plants. In 1974, a complete skeleton of an adult female Australopithecus was discovered in Ethiopia. This famous specimen has been nicknamed as Lucy. Around 2 million years ago, the line of the genus Homo made its official appearance with the species Homo habilis. The species manufactured various crude tools that it used for purposes such as butchering the animals that it ate to supplement its plant diet. Homo erectus supplanted Homo habilis starting about 1.8 million years ago and lived until about 200,000 years ago. Homo erectus had an even larger brain. The species hunted large herds of animals, had mastered fire, manufactured axes, and spread from Africa to the tropical and temperate zones of Eurasia. About 250,000 years ago, Homo neanderthalensis emerged. These early humans possessed more sophisticated tools, made of stone and possibly of wood. There is little evidence of Neanderthal art, science or religion, but the Neanderthals are believed to have buried their dead. The oldest mortuary site dates back about 200,000 years. Neanderthals were very strong physically and they were also excellent hunters. They died out scarcely 30,000 years ago. The Neanderthals' disappearance was no doubt somehow related to the spread of the next variety of their species. Homo sapiens first appeared about 3 or 200,000 years ago and remains of Cro-Magnon man, the European representative of this group. It was found about 35,000 years ago. With Homo sapiens sapiens, we see the emergence of specifically human activities, such as art and religion. You can see some of these important points of hominid evolution and our ancestors. It could be said that the evolution of hominids was not linear and rather bumpy. The species shown on the screen were not our direct ancestors, but they probably are the parallel developing lineages. Homo sapiens appeared more than 200,000 years ago in Africa, as well as all early evolution of hominin took place in Africa. Modern methods of proving the origin and historical development of mankind. The study of human evolution involves several scientific disciplines, including physical anthropology, primatology, archaeology, paleontology, neurobiology, ethology, linguistics, evolutionary physiology, embryology, and genetics. A race is a grouping of humans based on shared physical or social qualities into categories generally viewed as distinct by society. Race could be defined as geographically circumscribed populations within a species that have sharp boundaries that separate them from the remainder of the species. Sometimes environmental factors vary over the geographical range of the species, and some of these environmental factors induce natural selections that results in local adaptation. Races also could be defined as distinct evolutionary lineages within a species. An evolutionary lineage is a population of organisms characterized by continuous line of descent such that the individuals in the populations at any given time are connected by ancestor-descendant relationships. By the 17th century, the term race began to refer to physical or phenotypical traits. Modern science regards race as a social construct, an identity which is assigned based on rules made by society. While partially based on physical similarity within groups, race does not have an inherent physical or biological meaning. Most anthropologists recognize 3 or 4 basic races of man in existence today. These races can be further subdivided into as many as 30 subgroups. The major races are Caucasian race, Mongolian race, and Negroid races. Thank you for your attention.